I'd like to call our town council meeting of June 2024 to order. Can we please rise to the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mary? Here. Jenna? Here. Mary? Here. Annette? Here. Bob?
Here. Next, we have citizen input. This would be your opportunity to present comment to the council or the community. Step up and state your name and address, sir.
Con Tim 2234 Hart, right here in Dyer. I've lived in Dyer for over 27 years. I've sat through several town council meetings watching the workings of our town government. The last 6 months, I've had more anxiety and stress than you can imagine at the thought of our town choosing personal agenda over personal rights, delaying instead of moving forward. Tonight, the council has before them an opportunity to pass a second reading on a very well thought ordinance to protect the town and those who want their rights protected if another household chooses to harbor 5 hens, as well as those who embrace the peaceful opportunity to harbor 5 hens in their backyard. My encouragement is that this ordinance gets all 5 of the votes tonight for the good of the Dyer residents. If it doesn't pass or get delayed, the alternative has zero boundaries and is federal law enforced by the Federal Housing Act, protecting personal rights for having emotional support animals. HOAs and PUDs are not exempt, and the town has little regulation from roosters to mini ponies. Residents who feel anxiety from the stress of Dyer around them can find comfort in this federal law, including keeping 5 emotional support hens. As a side note, a current town code allows neighbors to harbor 5 dogs, any breed, no parameters, like this wonderful chicken harboring ordinance for 5 hens. I'm asking the town council to unanimously vote yes to this ordinance for the good of Dyer. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Hello, sir. Name and address, please.
My name is Bob Younghale and I live at 841 Sunflower Lane next door to Mr. Present. And we talked this over. We have a neighbor behind us now that is raising rabbits to eat. They want to have chickens in their yard. And I says, no, I don't agree with this. I mean, it's still a farm animal, belongs on a farm. And I disagree with what they want. And that's the biggest complaint I have, that they want chickens now. They put up a 5-foot fence now to try to hide the chickens and the rabbits that they're raising over there. And I just don't, I've been living in this house since they built the meadows. And it's back in 98 and we never had any problem. I have 5 other neighbors that don't want these chickens. So it's up to you guys how you feel about chickens.
Thank you. Hello.
My name is Lauren Tharp. I'm on Jackson Place in Dyer. I am here, 1017. I'm here to support the proposed chicken ordinance, as well as, I think several other people are in the audience are here for the chicken ordinance. Just raise your hand. We've got several people here today. We're aware that this, although it passed the first reading, is in danger of failing the second reading. The town council members who had previously voted yes have maintained the claim that they are pro-chicken. And if that is true, I would like you to please listen to the people who are also pro-chicken. We do not want to delay this process. I've reached out to at least 30 other people who are pro-chicken in the community, and not one person has opposed the ordinance. I reached out to a couple of people who are anti-chicken, Unfortunately, only one person got back to me, but she even agreed that the ordinance was fair. I am aware that since the last meeting, some concerns have developed, but I feel that those concerns are unfounded. Concerns that allowing a chicken will decrease property values has no supporting evidence. Allowing chickens does not impact property value. And there are several towns that allow chickens that have higher property values than Dyer. I think that Colin and Jessica also provided evidence that it does provided evidence for that claim in one of the early meetings. Was concerned that there's too much red tape to owning chickens, and nobody in this pro-chicken group is concerned with that. We're willing to work with the town regulations to ensure the safety and well-being of the chicken keepers, neighbors, and the chickens themselves. The fence requirement was a concern. We know if our neighbors have dogs, we will be responsible and put the fence at appropriate heights and the coop in the appropriate location to avoid conflict. Highland and Munster do not have ordinances that dictate the fence height, and they have had zero issues between neighbors with chickens and neighbors with dogs. The zoning, however, is the one thing I can agree with you on. We do need to adjust the zoning. The downtown district is not currently zoned for chickens, but there are several people who want them in that area. And I would ask that you consider an amendment to this ordinance to include that district sooner rather than later, and certainly before the spring of 2025, when people would be getting their flocks. I don't think that this one issue alone is reason to delay this. I think that it can be resolved. Shanna, earlier on Facebook, I saw that you posted several concerns. I'm just going to quickly address them for the anti-chicken side of things. The concerns that the coop would smell is resolved with 2G and 5A, I think, in the ordinance. Concerns about rodents or predators are resolved in 4F and 4G. Other people saying, what's next? Are we going to have pigs and horses and goats? Come to a meeting. I don't think they'll have a lot of support, but they can give it a shot. There's nothing that correlates that if we allow chickens, we're going to allow more farm animals. Personally, my fear in delaying this ordinance is that people will become discouraged. I sent my first emails to the council December 13th, and then I gathered the pro-chicken group at the end of that month. That means that we've been promoting this change for 6 months and have no resolution. When I first reached out, I was told that people have asked about chickens in the past, but nothing really comes of it. And those people just tend to go away. And I'm concerned that delaying this is an ulterior motive for some members of the council, hoping that we will just go away if we get discouraged. Unfortunately, I am planning to be in Dyer for quite some time, and I'm not going away. So sorry about that.
Thank you. Hello, sir. Name and address.
Matt, 1547 Magnolia. All right, I'll be quick since I know Adam's on the clock and I don't want to send too much money his way. So I'm in favor of the chickens. I understand some of the opponents, respectfully disagree, but I understand noise and smell concerns. But based on the research, I think I have reasons to reconsider the no vote. So I reached out to Highland Park, Illinois and Bloomington, Indiana, both who have had chickens. I talked to the city manager or animal control for one of them, city manager. They said few problems, usually it's dealt with just by talking to the owners. And I think we're all responsible adults. We can deal with each other. We already have noise limits. There's no reason why chickens we should worry about noise. I mean, if my neighbor wants to play the Cubs game loud or someone wants to ride their motorcycle, we have noise limits. I could not find any research on chickens decreasing home values. Like my full-time job is writing research. I couldn't find anything saying that chickens decrease home values. No one wants to live with the smell of poop, obviously. I mean, I have 2 little kids, the same reason I empty their trash is the same reason I'm sure we can trust people to clean out their chicken coop, because no one wants to smell that. Also, the permit process is already a bar, so I think people are gonna put money into a coop, they're gonna pay for the permit. So they're gonna have an incentive to follow the rules, which I think, I've read the ordinance and, yeah, we can all make compromises. So while I do think the opposition, of course, says they're reasonable reasons, I get it. I do think that trying chickens is worth it. If we believe in limited government, we got 5 Republicans on the city council. Several of you have put your signs in front of my yard, so I think we should be for limited government. And yeah, I think we can all just be good neighbors. So if you're pro chicken, you forget the chickens, keep your food in the containers, clean up your poop. If you're anti-chickens, don't be, snooping, calling code enforcement. Like, I don't know, maybe get to know your neighbor, talk to them, and use Coase theorem to work something out. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Hello, Town Council. My name is Andrew Russell. I live at 414 Grieving Street, right here behind Town Hall. Jenna, nice to see you.
I'm sure.
Robert, nice to see you. I understand that Robert has been against this the entire time, and Jenna, you are a yes/no vote tonight. That being said, I grew up in Crown Point, Indiana. Graduated from Crown Point High School in 2001. Moved to the city of Chicago. Lived there for almost 15 years. Moved here because my basic rights were taken away in the city of Chicago. Here, standing in front of a Republican town council, I can appreciate that. That's why I live here. I'm a Republican voter myself. I'm a pro-chicken voter here. Bob, at one point, I was at a town council meeting here and you had mentioned that you knew about chickens in your neighborhood. And I would like to know why and what laws, you don't have to tell me at this point, but there are laws obviously in place that are preventing us from having chickens, and why aren't they being enforced? You know about them. I live at 414 Grieving Street, right down the address, because next year I might as well just have chickens. What's preventing me? If you want to enforce that law, come on over, we'll have barbecue. All right? That's all I really have to say about that.
Thank you. Hello.
Live
And
at
the address.
1547 Magnolia. I'm Matt's wife, who's just up here. I don't really know what people have been saying because I've been out with my kids, but I'm pro chicken and I just want my kids to know where food comes from. We're also privileged to have the grocery shelves always stocked, but we know there's a lot of things that go into that. So I just want my kids to know that. And I thought that was something to put in as a mom. Here's my baby. He likes animals. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Name's Colin Zakovic, 605 213th Place. I've obviously been here. You guys have seen me 4 months out of the 6 months that we've been dealing with this. I'm just trying to understand, after Jenna, you expressed that you were gonna be a no vote. What is the plan if you still decide to vote no tonight? Are we tabling this? Are we going to a special study session that I actually called for 3 months ago? That being said, I would like to know who can call for a special study session? Can one person or? So open door law states that all you need is 48 hours notice and a public notice on the outside of the building. And it does not include Saturdays or holidays, so that means that Tuesday is the earliest that we can sit here and have a study session.
Sure, I think we're aware of those. If you're
I know.
addressing, this is a public comment section to
Okay.
give your comment, not a
That being-
question and answer.
Right, well, that being said, is that I'm trying to get it to where we can have this sit down session so that we can stop wasting the council's time and the citizens' time. 6 months of this has been going on. I offered this 3 months ago. It was not followed. And now we're back to square one. So that being said, I would like it if somebody could please call for one as soon as possible. Thank you.
At Van and Handle, 810 Harrison Place. I have been here all 6 months. I've been here every meeting. I've heard that some of the concerns now are about dogs jumping fences of backyards that might have chickens. If that's the road we're gonna go down with that, then a dog could jump a fence to get a squirrel, a bird, my kid, my dog. So if we're gonna open up that can of worms, are we gonna require every dog owner in Dyer to have a 6-foot fence? This is what I've heard. Again, this is a simple, basic right. Like the other gentleman said, I'm in full support of this. I think we're wasting time. I said it last time, I'm tired of hearing, I don't want to see that. Then turn your head the other way. Cause I walk in my backyard and I don't look in my neighbors' backyards. I don't care what they're doing. You know why? I don't pay their property taxes. I pay my property taxes. All right. Mind your own business. We have become a society that we're so worried about what everybody else is doing. Worry about what's between your property lines and your life will be a whole lot better. Don't worry about what I'm doing unless it affects you like personally or physically. Me having 5 hens in my backyard in a coop, because if I do free range, it will be while I'm outside for an hour or 2 a day. If that, it won't be when I get home from work because I don't have time for that on the weekends. Don't look in my backyard. You don't need to look in my backyard. So I hope you guys just like try and pass this tonight. Like Colin said, if not, let's do a special study session. Let's hash this out. Because all we're doing is wasting your guys' time, wasting a bunch of people that go to work every day. Like me, I get up at 3 o'clock every morning. This is rough to get home, to go to this, get home at 8 and get up at 3. You know, let's try and let's get this going. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comment?
My name's Gretchen McGuire and I live on Northgate Drive. I don't particularly want to have chickens right now, but I think I might in the future. But I just wanted to say that there are lots of things that my neighbors do that I don't like. I don't like fire pits. I don't like to smell smoke. I don't like 3 and 4 dogs barking all the time. I don't like fireworks, but that's what it's called, living in a neighborhood. You have neighbors. And I just think that it's kind of a random thing to be legislating against owning chickens. I just do. And nobody comes to me and knocks on my door and says, we want to have our 4th dog. Is that okay with you? It's like, no, nobody asks. And I don't expect them to. I just expect that as long as I can live on my own property, without bothering anybody to any severe extent, that I should be allowed to live freely. So, thank you.
Hi, my name is Jeremy Merrick, 230 Harvest Drive. So I really, the biggest reason why I was going to come up is that we have pretty extensive experience with actually raising chickens, not here in Dyer, but my family in Michigan does. I can tell you just from firsthand experience, because I don't know who actually has, dealt with it before, but a lot of the issues that people bring up, noise, especially if you don't have a rooster, there's like no noise. They don't really make any noise at all. Smell, there's my father-in-law and mother-in-law have 3 cats. They smell way worse than like over a dozen chickens, stuff like that. So if anybody has any questions about it too, we do have real world experience on it. But yeah, so that's a big thing. Just a lot of the concerns that were brought up, I really don't think are going to be an issue. So, okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Sarah Masterson. I live at 1513 Madison. I have no vested interest in owning chickens. I know myself will never have chickens. I have children. That's quite enough. But I think that the town council overall should listen to their people that they support. I don't care what ward you're in. You are the representatives for the town. If the town is continuing to bring this to your table and it's being ignored, I think that's a huge disservice to not only the people that are in support of it, but also the people that don't even know this is an issue. It's not widely publicized. Yes, it's a hot button issue on Facebook, That's why I'm here. Like I said, I have no vested interest. I don't have room for coops. But I agree that if you have money to invest in getting these chickens, the cost just to build a coop is not cheap. You consider lumber, you consider all of the things that these chickens need. Yes, right now is a perfect time for the chickens, but what happens in the winter? You have to have warming beds. You have to have an optimal environment for them to survive. So to say that you don't want to smell it, you are worried about the neighbors complaining on each other. Well, unfortunately, if you can't live in a neighborhood where you have to spy on each other, that's a little ridiculous. There's a lot of things that are done in my neighborhood that I certainly don't call town council or the town over every issue. Everybody has their own stuff that they need to worry about. And also I think that this severely impedes on the rights of the people in this town. So if you vote on it tonight and overwhelmingly it gets approved and then somebody instantly vetoes it just because they don't want us to go back to 1980 something, I think that's quite childish, to be honest with you. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Julie Rodriguez, 89 Deer Trail Drive. I just want to say this process has been really cool to be a part of. I'm pro chicken, and I just want to thank Lauren and everyone here. As you can see, there's a ton of support. And like there's feral / stray cats in my backyard. And again, I don't come here or call code enforcement. You're not going to even hear them. We have unincorporated Dyer that has chickens, and what are the big problems that they have? Do they come here? Is code enforcement there? Like, what are the issues that they have? From the people that I talk to, they don't have issues. So this has just been an awesome process to be a part of. I want to go home and tell my kids that we can have chickens. They literally think I'm going to come home with the chicken. I don't know why, but they are telling me colors and things that I should bring home. And so can we just please bring home the chickens? Pro chicken.
Moving on to the consent agenda, I'll be looking for a motion to accept the consent agenda to include the minutes of the May 16, 2024 town council meeting minutes and claims totaling $978,529.94.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented, including the minutes of the May 16th, 2024 town council meeting minutes, claims totaling $978,529.94. I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary? Aye. Jenna? Aye. Mary? Aye. Annette? Aye. Bob?
Aye. Next up, we have announcements. Town council offices, or rather town offices, will be closed on Thursday, July 4th, in observance of Independence Day. Next, we have reports. Town council, we'll start with Ward 2, Councilwoman Tim.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for coming out and supporting your town. You're amazing. I really, really appreciate it. It's so very important to work together and to understand government, that we aren't New Hampshire. You're not going to get a letter in the mail saying, come, we're going to vote on this. We've been elected to be your representatives and to vote your way. So thank you for coming out and giving us your opinion. Pheasant Hill has Market Day. Great job, our park director. Great job. So the next one's July 2nd. Hope to see you out there from 4 to 8. So Pheasant Hills, we have Community Market Day. Also coming soon, and stop me if I'm wrong, Adam, I hope I'm not. If you love Dyer, and there's a lot of people who love Dyer or Dyer history, the Historical Preservation Commission is going to be asking for volunteer applications for the Historical Society volunteers. So that'll be coming up. Please keep your eye open for that application status on the town website.
Just to clarify, that's for the volunteer committee, a
Right.
5-member committee that works under the commission.
There you go. Volunteer committee under the Historical Preservation Commission. But it sounds like it's going to be really great. We're looking forward to it. We got a lot of things coming up. Also, I'm sure everybody knows it's orange cone season here. It's been really intense. I know a lot of things can make us intense, and I appreciate just the whole level of decorum here. And I hope we can carry that out on the streets. as we move forward, because we have a lot of great things happening in Dyer. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, Ward 3, Councilwoman Griswold.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and sharing your thoughts. I really appreciate it, and I listened very patiently to what everybody has to say and do my best to represent the town and the residents. Just want to say, Summerfest was a great time. I thought that the Summerfest committee did a great job with organizing that this year with the new layout and at the traffic light. So kudos to the Parks Department and Summerfest committee.
Thank you. Ward 4, Councilwoman Thanks.
Thank you all for coming out. It's really great to see all of you folks, because you know, we live in a democratic republic, which means that when you go to vote, you're saying to somebody, you know what, you're going to represent me. And that's the way that it should work. So I'm so glad to see all of you out here, and keep on coming. We love to have people here. Sometimes there are just a handful of people, but it was really great, especially the young children that are coming to these meetings. I applaud you. I know that everybody is concerned with traffic. It seems like it's everybody's discussion wherever we go, trying to make a left-hand turn somewhere. You know, this evening coming to this meeting, there was an accident right out here. So I know that that's a problem, but please keep in mind, this isn't all the town of Dyer. This is the state of Indiana that's responsible for Route 30. We're doing our part too, because we're making road improvements all over the place. So just kind of bear with it. You know, it'll be over by the fall. So hopefully that will be something that we look forward to. The other night at the Plan Commission meeting, we had an interesting conversation because people were really concerned about wooded areas in town. And they were concerned about a small wooded area that's just on Calumet Avenue. And I tried explaining to them that, you know, we have a lot of opportunities for wooded areas. We live next to the Cook County Forest Preserve. We live next to the Will County Forest Preserve. Lots of trees out there. And if any of you are short on deer running through your streets and your yard, there are plenty of them in here in Dyer. So it was really good to see here so many people show up for that meeting as well. So Ward 4, we're very busy. But again, thank you for coming out and continue on showing up. We love it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ward 5, Councilwoman Ludwig.
Thank you all for coming out. Hopefully we'll get this resolved or voted on as soon as we can. I just want to say, Justin, great job on Summerfest. I know it was a lot of work put into it, as well as the committee. They did an awesome job. Had so much feedback on our police department, the fire department, all the agencies that were there. They felt protected. I mean, so many people came from Cherville to Dyer because they felt safe. So that was good to hear. Had a lot of feedback on the fireworks. They said it was such a great show. They were worried that we weren't gonna have it because of last year. Someone had reached out to me, which maybe Justin or Dave. Lake Central students had asked me about volunteer cleanup work. They would like to do some cleanup work for our town. Volunteer. So I thought that was pretty awesome to just know that there's some kids out
Plenty
there
of work
that
for
are.
them. Send them our way. We'll
So I said I would bring it up to the meeting and who, Justin or you, Dave?
send them my way. We'll distribute
Okay.
them to their best department that they
They'll
can help
know
out
all
in.
the parts.
Yep.
But they want to do some volunteer work. So that's good to hear. Other than that, that's all I have. Ward 5 is doing good. No complaints. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have a report from Clerk Treasurer.
I have some donations. One is for the police chief fund of $1,000 at his discretion, and the fire chief fund for $5. Could I have a motion to accept that?
I'll move to accept that.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary,
Aye.
Jenna,
Aye.
Mary, aye, Annette,
Aye.
Bob.
Aye.
Also must be something because the, soccer mom from Lake Central, that I gave Justin all the information on that lady's name and the whole team.
It might
wants
be
to
the same
donate.
one.
It might
Oh.
be. I gave that
It
to
is a
Justin
soccer.
last week. Cause she messaged me and I just gave it to him, but it could be more, so that's even good.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
And don't they have to do so many hours at Lake Central?
This,
think?
I asked her the same thing and it wasn't anything for hours. They just want to volunteer to the town of Dyer.
They do it at the middle school as well. We have volunteers all the time. Okay, great.
Yeah, she did put her community service in already, so she's just looking to volunteer.
Next up, town manager.
I echo everybody's comments about the fest. I will take it one step further that it's the entire town staff that comes together to put this fest to the caliber that it was. There's vacations that are not allowed during that time. There's schedules that are double booked. There's whether you're working the fest or working the shift to cover someone that is working at the fest, everybody kind of chips in. And it's a little different. It seems as if our staff is there and interacts with community, and they're not just there filling the slot or doing a specific job. I'm sorry. So I do want to just say, from Public Works, the police, the fire, the parks, the staff, the volunteers, excellent production this year, and I'm looking forward to next year. The traffic light is operational. One of the things that we worked really hard on was to make sure that it was functioning for the fest. And even though some of the final pretty aspects of the paintings and all that might not have been done, the light was actually functioning and worked very well for the police department, at least to control that traffic at the end of the day. It's just an example of some infrastructure that this council has invested in to make our functions a little bit better. Fire truck has been ordered, and you may have seen the smile on Fire Chief's face so that we can get this process rolling. It's going to be a long 30 months, and we're kind of hoping that it's going to be a little bit quicker than anticipated. But it is a tremendous asset to not only the staff, but the community. There's been some debate on, 75-foot ladder truck. Why do we need that? We have a hospital. We have 100 and what's your tower truck? 102, 105, 105. There's some houses in some of our R1 areas that the driveways are long enough and the houses are big enough that these ladder trucks are used for residential purposes as well. So we definitely have the need. Lake Central Baseball has won state, and we're very proud. And like we do in all fashions for our high school, we will be participating with the 3 towns, tri-town area, to put the signs up at all our entries. So we'll be happy to add one of those signs to our cluster of great accomplishments by our high school. Look forward to that in the future. The road construction, I think that was already been mentioned. I do want to do a quick wrap up on Route 30 because I know a lot of people are probably interested in it. Just to restate again that it's a complete bridge reconstruction in the 1500 block of Route 30 that's near Patty's Gymnastics, Hog Haven, St. John Road over there. That's complete reconstruction. If you haven't driven by there, they've removed all layers of it and they're replacing it with a brand new structure that is scheduled to be done late September, early October. Right now, everything is pointing to staying on target with that timeline. The one right outside Town Hall is a resurfacing. They are taking layers of concrete off, redoing the structures, but it's not a complete reconstruction. That one is anticipated to be done in September. So the lane restrictions that you see right now are going to stay in place till at least September. Doesn't make it any easier, but they are working every day. They're working late nights and sometimes on the weekends. That's all I have.
Thank you. Town attorney.
July 1st is coming up, and what that means is that the laws passed at the last session go into effect. Just a couple I want to touch on here. I won't go into detail about some of these. There's some affecting publication of notices, licensing of food trucks by the county health department, pension matters. Couple of things I do want to go into a little bit of detail on is emergency service contracts will have to be uploaded through Gateway and made publicly available. That would include our EMS agreements. there's bonding issues. I'm not gonna go into detail about those for contractors. The one that is relevant to today's meeting, Public Law 171, will allow local government bodies to set rules for conduct of meetings, for example, dictating time limits for public comment, things of that sort. Those rules will have to be posted before further meetings, and obviously that will have to be enacted at a future session of this body. Another interesting one that came up is Public Law 4. It sets a standard for selling dogs by pet stores, and it's my opinion that this invalidates the puppy mill or anti-puppy mill ordinance we passed earlier. Basically, it says as long as a dog breeder is registered, certified by a national science-based breeder, or audited by an independent auditing firm, then we cannot restrict the sale of those within the town limits, and it invalidates any ordinances that conflict with it. If any of you want to talk to me about these afterward, I'm happy to. And then on a personal matter, both myself and Mr. Reed have changed our firm affiliations. I am, as of Monday, with the firm of Christensen, Sue Sipes out of Chicago. And Mr. Reed has gone into solo practice under the name JPR Legal Services. So if you are so inclined, I would ask for a motion to approve my continued representation by myself and Mr. Reed in our current roles under the current terms of our agreements, except with our new affiliations, Christensen Sue Sipes for myself and JPR Legal Services for Mr. Reed. All the other terms to remain the same.
I'll make a motion to approve the services of both Adam Cedia and John Reed under their new situations
I'll
for the
second.
duration,
With the same terms.
with the same terms, yes.
And I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary,
Aye.
Jenna. Hi, Mary.
Aye.
Annette.
Aye.
Beth.
Aye.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Next up, department heads. We'll start with Public Works.
Currently we are, got some sanitary projects out for bid right now, two of them. One of them is the sanitary lining project. That'll be, 7, areas that are being lined, that need, for roots and such like that. And the other one is, an open cut repairs, a couple areas that need to be repaired, above ground. The bid opening is next Wednesday. And the utility board it got it on their agenda for the review at that point. Data for the water service line inventory is continuing to be collected for the customer owned portions. So far, we've got 1,241 of the 6,374 water services categorized so far, and that's about 19%. Only 2 have been identified as having lead, so that's real low. Pavement markings on Calumet Avenue will be completed next week on Monday or Tuesday. So far, they've been able to get the northern section of where the new traffic signal has been done, but they were unable to get the majority of the south and south of Knighthood and such like that, just due to the construction that was there last week. So they'll be here on Monday or Tuesday to finish that up. Curb painting is continuing. Almost all the curbs south of US 30 have been completed. I think they're in Castlewood and Bower Estates right now. So next week they'll be or at least first be July, they should be out in the northern section, and we'll continue painting all those curbs until that's complete. And there's a couple items under the agenda that I can discuss further at that point. Any questions?
I have a question. The surveys that went out to homeowners.
Yes.
Did all homeowners entire, or is it just
Everyone.
everyone?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so again, they were either
But I
submitted
mean,
by in your digital mail, with your utility bill, which I think is just a link on the utility bill, and then or a paper copy with your paper bill. So
yeah, and there was a lot of residents or homeowners that were a little confused by it. And I think it's a lot of the older.
yeah, and if
They would
there's-
call me and say, what do I do? Which one do I have?
Yeah, again, if there's any questions, that any residents have is have them contact Public Works and we'll either walk them through the process or we'll actually send someone out there to take a look at it.
Well, that'd be great. Thank you.
Parks?
First, before I go into my report, we got the inspection for the property over on Hart Street. I printed that out and should be in front of you. If you had a chance to review it, you would see that towards the end of it, there are some unfortunate issues with the HVAC system, water heaters, some electrical work. So the building, I believe, is 30 to 40 years old. And there is some additional work that would be needed. I believe the last meeting, you instructed us to get inspections, and if you guys would like us to proceed any further, we'd have to have some kind of motion or something, some kind of direction. And then for our projects we got going on, the Sandy Ridge and pickleball courts, they're out to bid right now. Our bid opening is next Friday at 10 a.m. down here in this room. Heritage Estates Park improvement, the design work is still underway. So that's still proceeding. And then skate park equipment. I'm waiting to see where our bids come in at before I decide which piece of equipment we're gonna purchase. And then the activities, summer camp is in full swing. We've had over 200 participants weekly. And they were out here at Splash Pad on Wednesday. They're doing that every Wednesday. And it's been going very well. And Summerfest has been mentioned. The event went great. Could not expect anything to go any better. Maybe the weather on Saturday could have behaved a little bit better, but in my report in your packet is the financial breakdown. I'm not gonna read all these here, but if you guys have any questions regarding that, I'd be more than happy to answer it.
Justin, can I ask you a little bit about the parks, about this building at Hart Street at 2728 Hart?
Sure.
What's the consensus for everybody? I mean, obviously, it's an older building. There are gonna be some issues and you have to look at it, but I feel like the location, how it's set up is perfectly set for what we need it for. Well, what's the consensus of everybody?
I really, without talk to Brian a little bit about it, without getting people in there to see exactly how much work we're gonna need. I'm kind of hesitant on moving forward, just because when the appraisal that they received was, I believe, 600,000 or yeah, it was close to 600,000. And then if we gotta put in another 100 or so, that kind of.
Can it be negotiated at all? Are we considering
Absolutely.
that?
We can attempt to, absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
I think from the staff point of view, when we went out there, I think to answer one of your questions was that the inspection was a good first step. We were hoping that it was gonna get flying colors. But now that it didn't, I think that gives us some bargaining. If there is interest by the council, we'll move forward with the appraisals on our end so that at least we have some negotiating if interested. But I think after seeing the report, I think we have to include a little more in the renovation side of it. For being a private church versus coming onto a government building, there's gonna need to be some upgrades to it.
Right, but it's more ADA compliant where the way it's set up.
Yeah.
Compared to other locations.
Yeah, no, very, very exciting possibilities at the location.
And not knowing what those costs are going to be. And not knowing what those costs are going to be, I mean, it's still gonna be cheaper than building something new.
It is.
Again, until we know what those costs are, but now that we know what the issues are, it makes negotiating a little easier.
I'd like to make a motion to take the next step. I don't know exactly what that would be, but I would like to make that motion to pursue it a little farther and see where we can go on this.
Well, the motion, I think, would be to direct town staff to engage appraisers. And then I would wait until you receive their appraisal before you make any offer.
Yeah, we'll go, if we're still at least a green light, we'll go with the appraisers next.
I'll second that, but you know what, I really want to see what the purpose of that building would be. I mean, I know we have a lot of ideas. What would we use the building for?
During my presentation in the last meeting, I kind of broke that down. It'd be a lot of we could have potentially 3 classrooms, there'd be some office space.
Yeah.
They have 2 larger rooms for some more activities. The only downside is the ceilings are very low, so we can't have any major athletics in there. But it would be a community center of sorts, is the function I envision it as.
Right, and thank you for doing that, because we have a large audience this year, and now they can learn a little bit more about what the building is being used for. Thank you.
Just some people might say, why do we need another building? I've been over there when people have been trying to rent what we have, and and Alice is going time after time, sorry, that's full, everything, because we have a really popular location for all the things, so everything fills up. Is that my understanding? Is that?
Yeah, the 2 larger rooms in that building could be utilized for 2 rentals at the same time for smaller rentals. At Plum Creek, we can hold up to, I believe it's 100 people. But most of the time we get anywhere between 50 and 75. And during the summer, we get constant calls about wanting that space for weekends, whether it's birthday parties, grad parties, bridal showers, baby showers. So that would definitely be an asset to have another location where we could generate more revenue.
I'd like to see theater come in. That would be another really cool thing for the kids. Anyway, expand.
How big are those rooms, the 2 rooms, as far as occupancy?
I don't have the square footage in front of me.
No, I mean, just, I'm not gonna hold you to it, it's just what you think.
I think one was like a 40 by 20, and then the other one was a little narrower. It was like a 60 by 20, the larger one for the potential community center room where we could have joint meetings there or other
It's
things.
still more space, I mean.
Yes.
You know,
It would certainly be the biggest facility that we would have.
yeah,
In town outside of it. Maybe this room, even that there's the sanctuary. is
Correct.
Quite large. So did we have? Was that part of our resolution last month to do the appraisal?
So it was, and I think we felt that we would at least give you guys the inspection first, because it came in first. And if there was any hesitation, then we wouldn't have to put up, but we're ready to go and schedule the 2 appraisers, and only thing that would stop us is telling them no, so.
we don't have one appraisal, right?
We have their appraisal,
Oh,
but
the inspection, I'm sorry, that's what we have.
public funds, we would need two appraisals on our end, so we'll get that scheduled up and we'll do a report here to follow.
It'd be great.
Unless you got anything else for me?
Next up, operations.
Monday at the Plan Commission meeting, they approved the primary plat for the Orthodox Edition, which is right north of the Cancer Resource Center, into 3 lots. One of those lots will be negotiating with the Stormwater Board to take control over so we can put a lift station in over there. Meadowbrook subdivision, they dug their first foundation of the subdivision, so they're starting to build homes out there, which is real nice. For the month of code enforcement, we had 4 citations for tall grass and weeds. Coming up in July, the Stormwater Board will present to the Little Cal River Basin Commission to ask for 50% of the engineering study for the continuation of the 2-stage ditch. So we're looking to do something by CVS and then all through Briar Ridge for 2-stage ditch. Harrison Avenue, that project's going real well. Today they started on the dig out. So if you go by there, they're digging the road out, starting at 213th, working towards 215th. Once they finish that dig out, they'll begin with the concrete work there. So that project's coming along nicely. And then the last thing I have is tomorrow, Hart Street in the evening is going to be shut down right here at Steck Street. We're redoing Getler and Steck, and part of that project, we have to do new water main, and the water main we have to tie into is in the middle of Hart Street. So that's why Hart Street has to be shut down. So we're shutting it down on a weekend to try to, help the residents out and not be as busy on the weekday when everyone's leaving for work.
So you can still come into town hall.
You can still come into town hall.
And on Saturday and Sunday, turning south on Hart Street.
Yes.
To get into the town hall.
Yes, for the
Splash pad in for
the shredding
Sunday.
event, yes. So if you have any other questions for me on developments or anything, I have paper to give you before you leave too, that's from your, be in your packet.
I just want to say, the code enforcement, definitely, Jenna and I did a ride around with him, and really opened my eyes. I mean, it was some of the areas that you know, he goes in there and takes pictures and he does a lot, so, yeah, let him know that
There's a lot of documentation.
I was, yeah, happy to go.
Thank you. Next up, fire department, Chief Martin.
Yes, for the month of May, we had 137 total calls for service, logged 458 hours of training. We continued all of our community risk reduction initiatives. We'll actually be doing another smoke and CO detector push here on social media shortly. Logged 24 hours in instruction at the Tri-Town Safety Village. We were able to teach a full day of fire science education on May 20th for the 7th and 8th graders at Caleb Middle School. That actually went very well. Firefighter Mano passed the EMT Academy, so he's going to be taking his skills and national register here shortly. With Franciscan EMS, we'll be hosting the next EMS Academy at Dyer, starts August 22nd. I was able to become certified as a life safety educator 1-2 through the state of Indiana. Last Friday, June 8th, that was last Friday, right? Yeah, June 8th, probationary firefighter Stein and Mizak graduated from the District 1 Fire Academy. So they started their first shifts last week. We're currently in the process of onboarding 4 paid on call probationary firefighters that'll be housed at Station 18. Again, as Town Manager Hein mentioned, the Quint is all ordered. So I'd like to thank everybody on the dais, including our safety board, for the support the last few months. Looking forward to this process and seeing it hopefully sooner than 30 months. Last week, we hosted another IPEP Safety Committee meeting, and the 5 of us are kind of charged with that. So we have some initiatives moving forward to even greater protect all of our employees that work for the town of Dyer. 4th of July is right around the corner. I believe Commander Hendren's going to talk about the ordinance, but just a reminder to everybody that fireworks are fun, but they're also very dangerous. So we'll be posting a lot of things to social media over the next few weeks to remind them of the dangers that can come with that. Grant season's upon us, so Debbie's been getting packets of grants that have been written by the department, so hopefully we'll get all of them because we'll take all the money. And I just got news today. This actually impacts the police department as well. One of the administrators at Superior Ambulance is putting up quite a few of our firefighters and a police officer for a life-saving award. We've had 4 and I believe 1 today, so 5 cardiac arrest saves in the last couple months. So it just goes to show our increase in staffing is showing dividends in a multitude of ways. So again, appreciate the council's support throughout the last few years so that we can continue to grow this department, help the community best we can.
You. Next up, police department.
Thank you. We had 651 incidents in the month of May, 39 arrests, 30 accidents, 241 citations, 463 warnings. A couple announcements, August 6th, from 5 to 9 is going to be National Night Out. That's at Central Park. We are looking for volunteers to help us with the food line, help us with setup, help us with parking. Last year, we had a lot of student athletes out there, which was pretty great. Also, like Chief Martin said, the ordinance, the fireworks ordinance allows for fireworks between the 29th and the 9th. The hours vary within there. I'm not going to go into that. It is 18 and older, but something that we have seen a lot of at the police department is fireworks being set off on public property. We can't have people going into parks on streets. We can't have that. Fireworks need to be on your own property. We would encourage residents, if you see fireworks at parks, to please contact us. We've had dumpster fires we'd have to get them out for. We've had several issues at parks during the 4th of July. That's all I have.
Thank you. Next up, we have road projects. Neil.
Good evening. Thanks to Brian, he covered Harrison and Getler. Again, that's starting this week and MOT is being installed and the contractor started staging materials for Getler and Steck. The Calumet Avenue and Central Park Boulevard project is substantially complete. The loop detectors, the signal programming does remain. The 2024-2 application for 212th Place from Harrison to Madison Avenue, including utilities for reconstruction, that is due by July 31st, and we'll work with Dave and Frank and Jeff on that project to get that application in till we get our maximum of $1.5 million for this year from INDOT for CCMG. John Burge, the initial topographic survey and utility location survey is complete, and that was delivered for town council and staff review. We did receive from Frank and Dave an updated concept plan from the Arch Group, and we're ready to move forward with final design as directed. And the final item is the CCMG 2024-1 NDOT grant that was awarded. We opened bids on June 7th, and we have a recommendation for award to the contractor. I know that is item 2 on your new business, and if you're okay, I'll read that bid report right now.
Okay.
So we did open bids as mentioned on June 7th. We had 2 bidders for that project. Engineer's opinion of cost was $2,266,627.95. The bids range from $1,950,843.73 to $2,349,047.39. All bidders submitted the required bid security and Indiana Form 96 non-collusion affidavit. There were no errors in the bids, and the recommendation would be to the lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder, which would be Milestone Contractors North Incorporated, in the amount of $1,950,843.73. And that resurfacing project encompasses 16 road segments, which I believe are in your packet. Are there any questions on that bid report?
When is the plan to have these projects? Is there like?
We need to be under contract with the contractor to maintain NDOT eligibility within 4 months of the application award, which was made in April. So we have until August 10th, I believe it is, to be under contract. But if this bid is positively considered by the council tonight, we will have contracts, blank contracts, bonds, and insurance requirements to the contractor tomorrow, so that we can be under contract probably within a week and a half to 2 weeks, review that with staff, and then upon that, we'll schedule a pre-construction meeting. So this work could begin as early as, I would say, mid-July would be reasonable.
Okay, and there's 16 streets. That's just a lot to me. So it's
It
just
is.
one street at a time until it's all done, or?
Yeah, generally what they'll do as in the past, and I'm sure we've all seen this in our neighborhoods, is they'll group the projects geographically. It just generally makes more sense, and it's not only more cost efficient for the contractor, but it's less inconvenient efficient for the residents. So they'll look at those in the particular areas that are on the entirety of the list. And there's some outliers like 213th that'll be done all at once, regardless of geographic nature next to another road or street that needs to be completed. But the projects can all be completed within this calendar year. And since they're resurfacing, they generally go pretty quick. The biggest delay is usually concrete. You know, you can do a week's worth of concrete and then it takes a day to pave the road.
And I think just moving equipment around helps a lot.
It does, yeah. And the closer you can keep those within one neighborhood, and we work with Frank and Dave and Jeff and staff and Brian. We kind of looked at that in terms of selecting these, not only obviously on the Paisley rating, but in terms of where does this geographically make sense, so we get the best bang for the dollars for the town council.
Right.
Not only as a councilwoman, but as a resident, I appreciate that you're taking into effect orange cone season. Thank you.
As long as the asphalt goes black side up, we'll be
There
okay.
you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
And Jen, a great question. If you look on your 1 through 16, and for the audience members as well, they're clustered in about 4 separate groups. So you'll see 213th Street number 1 will be done all by itself. And then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are similar mobilization. 7's kind of an outlier there. Lake Cozy, Gardenia, Rosemary, Monticello are the next group. Wildflower, Heritage are close, and then Camelot, Howard Castle. So I do believe that they will all be completed, must be completed by the end of the asphalt season this year, which Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's the contract and the bid documents require them to be completed this year. But the good thing is with NDOT, we have 18 months to close a project out. So restoration items and stuff like that, which are always a challenge. But the majority of the work, 99% of it will be done within this calendar year. But yeah, probably between Halloween and Thanksgiving, everything will be completed, if not sooner.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks so much.
You need a motion for that bid?
That'll be down under.
Added under new business.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, next up, ordinances and resolutions, ordinance 2024-05.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2024-05, adopting provisions governing harboring chickens on second reading.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to say a few things, especially to the groups that is here. You know, ever since we have been elected, it's our responsibility to listen to the residents. We're their representative. And when people came forward and said we wanted some change about adopting harboring chickens, it was something new and different to many of us sitting up here. But we learned more. I would have to say the people who were talking about harboring chickens did an excellent job of not only working together, but telling us so much, giving us so much factual information. Everything was written down. They grouped together. They helped us out. We even took a tour of one of the chicken coops in Highland. It was excellent. They did a great job. On the opposite side, there were a lot of words, but nothing factual. So this is exactly, you know, how it should work. We are here to represent all of the residents of Dyer. And, you know, there's going to be different options because people, if you talk about a pickleball court, it's not going to affect everybody in Dyer. It's a small group of people. And this is the same thing. Harboring chickens is going to affect a small, very small group of people. But I certainly applaud them because they did all of their homework and more. So thank you.
I would also like to thank Chief Martin for the excellent backyard chicken coop safety on your side. I really appreciate that. On top of applications, we want to give out a best practices. I appreciate the chicken keepers for giving information as well. Our assistant town manager for locating HOAs and PUD areas that you might not be able to do that in. I just appreciate all this information. Information cuts down risk plus creates, it creates great boundaries. This ordinance, I believe, has great boundaries, not only for those who do want to have enjoy chicken harboring, but for those who don't. There's protection there, and as well as for the town. So I feel like this is the best way to go. As Mr. Tim said, there's another option that does not help us at all, and it's comfort animals, and it's federally recognized. And we should do our due diligence and pass this ordinance 100%.
Thank you.
If I could say, if a resident in Dyer wants to have one dog, they pay a $5 licensing fee. If a resident wants to put in a swimming pool, another thing that's been brought up that chickens have been compared to, it's a $25 permit fee. And if we pass this ordinance, any person in Dyer who wants to have one single chicken will have to pay a $150 permit fee. That just doesn't seem fair to me. It feels as though we're rushing this ordinance through. I am 100% in support of families who want to have a great hobby of chicken keeping in their backyards. But this ordinance, we're rushing this through. There's a lot that we still have to discuss. How do we plan on accounting for the residents who live in the downtown district who want chickens?
They would have to have a variance the way it sits right now.
Okay, and have we as a council talked with the BZA and had a discussion about how that variance process will go?
I know how the variance process
The
goes.
variance-
He's right.
The variance process is already prescribed by state statute.
And the reason that there's $150 coop fee is because we spoke with our clerk treasurer who wanted to keep things uniform, just like we spoke with the police as far as nuisance goes. We are not changing something or creating something new. We are trying to stay cohesive with all the other laws. So there is a kennel fee and there's a coop fee, and it's the exact same. So we're trying to make things cohesive and consistent. This has been a 6-month process, not overnight.
So
We've done a great job.
a kennel fee is a commercial fee, so that people who are boarding dogs, they're having a business.
Any kind of
That's
kennel.
going to be
No, any kind
paying
of kennel.
taxes. A kennel is 6 or more dogs and for a commercial purpose. So we're lumping somebody who wants to have a small flock of chickens in their backyard with a business that wants to operate a kennel.
Councilwoman Ogrizovich, did you receive complaints on this? Were there any complaints today from the podium regarding that fee?
I don't know that anybody has actually.
Why is that something that's important when we are not listening to what they are saying to us?
I will say, nobody has mentioned a complaint about a fee, and it is also very rare that you would keep just one chicken. So if you're gonna pay that fee, you're likely to have 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'll gladly pay $150. One time, and then it's $25 for the following year or 50 for the following year.
You wanna call the question?
100%. Gladly pay $150.
The question has been called, roll call, please.
Mary?
Aye.
Jenna?
I will ask for a study session later, but for now, no.
Mary? Aye. Annette?
No.
Bob?
No. Moving on to resolution 2024-11. We had tabled this from our May 16 town council meeting. This was the interlocal agreement with Sheriffville. My understanding is we are still waiting from Sheriffville attorney, so I would ask for a motion to table this resolution one more time.
Correct.
Before you put a motion, what was the issue?
We have been asked to just wait until the Sheriffville attorney would give its feedback, and there's been no feedback at this point.
I think the request was an anticipation that by the end of this month, but that's not in stone yet. So we would imagine, or we hope and expect that we'll have it for that review completed by the next council meeting.
Do I have a motion to table resolution 2024-11?
I'll make a motion to table resolution 2024-11.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary?
Aye.
Jenna?
Aye.
Mary? Aye. Annette?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye. Next up, we have, I'll be seeking a motion for resolution 2024-13, a transfer of funds.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2024-13 for transfer of funds.
A motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary?
Aye.
Jenna?
Aye.
Mary? Aye. Annette?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye. Next, under old business, I will be seeking a motion to make our 2024 donation of $36,400 to the Tri-Town Safety Village.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2024 contribution to the Safety Village for $36,400.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary?
Aye.
Jenna?
Aye.
Mary? Aye. Annette?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye. Next up, under new business. In our study session, we had a presentation from the Lake Central Education Foundation seeking a donation request. I would be seeking a motion for a donation.
Make a motion to make a donation to the Lake Central Education Foundation. I think we should go a little bit higher if we can.
Yeah.
At least $2,000.
I have a motion to donate to the Lake Central Education Foundation in the amount of $2,000. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary?
Aye.
Jenna?
Abstain.
Mary? Aye. Annette?
Aye.
Aye. Next, as presented under reports, I'll be seeking a motion to accept the bid award for the 2024 street resurfacing projects, CCMG 2024-1 to Milestone Contractors North in the amount of $1,950,843.73.
I'll make a motion to award the bid to Milestone for the 2024 street resurfacing projects, CCMG 2024-1 in the amount of $1,950,843.73. I'll second that.
A motion and a second, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary?
Aye.
Jenna? Aye. Mary? Aye. Annette?
Aye.
Aye. Next up, we have the Northgate Park sidewalk completion. Town manager, if you want to update everyone on that.
Yes. So as we complete projects and moving forward, we do the walkability assessment with the train station rapidly approaching. There are sections that need to be completed. As you see in the notes, the section we're looking at currently not only would serve the park, but it would serve anybody that wants to get from Route 30 to Main Street. These sections that are left are highlighted in your map in the orange and the yellow. Public Works Director has reached out, received applicable quotes for our policy. And if you support the project to complete the sidewalks near Northgate Park, we'd be looking for a bid to go with the lowest quote. Oh, I'm sorry, we'd be looking for a motion to go with the lowest quote. If you have any questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability. Northgate Park area is one that we are looking to kind of finish. Looks like it was an unfinished product for a little bit. We attempted to put 87 trees along Caven Avenue to further support our tree city status, and NIPSCO had said no, thank you. There's too much underground for the tree roots. So 60 of those will be relocated inside of the park, right at the fence, but the sidewalk is still crucial for our walkability feature.
And so this will get you from,
Yes.
yes,
Main Street, if you take Main Street, you'll be able to go down Caven Avenue on the west side of the road. You will have to cross over at the signalized intersection there at 213 to get to the Central Park side. And you'll be able to take that all the way up to Jewel. Crossing 30 is still something that we need to work on in the future. But south of 30, there's a sidewalk from pretty much Walgreens all the way to Knighthood. And earlier, many years ago, we completed Route 30 east to west with the Safe Streets grant. Safe paths to school.
and I'm looking at the JJ Newell quote here.
Yes.
I see two different numbers here, one with and one without dirt disposal.
Yes, I can answer that question. We would want to go with the $86,250 proposal, which is dirt disposal, because they were wanting to bring the dirt that they would take out for the sidewalk and put it at Public Works, but our pile is a little bit large, so I don't feel it's prudent to add more to it when we have to remove it later on anyway.
I'll be looking for a motion for the Northgate Park sidewalk completion project done by JJ Newell in the amount of $86,250.
I'll make a motion for the Northgate Park sidewalk completion. Awarding to JJ Newell, $86,250.
I'll second.
A motion, a second, any discussion? I think this is going to go a long way, not only making foot or bike travel from the north end to south, north end of town to south end of town better, but with the train coming in, I think this will in the future pay some dividends.
Even the residents living there, this is cohesive and they need this.
Yeah. Roll call, please.
Mary? Aye. Jenna? Aye. Mary? Aye. Annette?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye. Next up, we have item number 4, local road resurfacing and curbs. This is
Yes.
on your screen. Dave, you wanna?
The next item on our kind of assessment of jobs to be completed. The section of Calumet Avenue from Old Beach to Boulder, give or take, a few feet either direction. We're not included on the CCMG grind and resurface. It is in need, so we'd be looking to support the grind and resurface with that milestone contractor in the amount of 45,537. And while assessing that area and my 20+ years of driving the streets, it was an unfinished product there. It makes it look like you're driving down a road that just stops and you're guided over to continue your travel. So while we have an opportunity that we're going to grind and resurface this and hopefully have a great fresh street for years to come, I think this is the perfect opportunity to do that curb work there that's included. So it will look like it was a designed street and straighten that curb out. I'm asking for approval for both of those combined. Public Works Director did go out for quote on both of those projects, and he submitted the lowest quote in your packet.
And the total cost between both those projects are both those parts is $74,736.50.
I'll be looking to a motion for Milestone Contractors North in the amount of $74,736.50 to complete the Calumet Avenue repaving and widening.
I'll make a motion to approve the widening of Calumet Avenue to the tune of $74,736.50.
I'll second that.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary?
Aye.
Jenna?
Aye.
Mary? Aye. Annette?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
When would this begin? That quick, huh?
Thank you.
Perfect.
The residents.
Just another. Thank you.
Yeah. Under any and all, we had 2 topics brought up in the study session. I'll be looking for a motion on either of those. The first motion would be to enter into a contract with WJOB for their community promotion programs for the amount of $3,000.
I'll make a motion to enter into an agreement with WJOB for the amount of $3,000.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
A second, and that's for the yearly, right? It's not,
Right.
okay, yeah, second, please.
Motion and second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd just like to know how many people actually watch or listen to WJOB. Other than when there's a storm. Is there something else, Bob, that says 3,000 or did you just make the motion for 3,000?
That's
Correct, that-
already now for a year, it's 3,000, it's
Yeah.
300 a month.
Correct.
That's what he said, correct? Okay.
Motion and second.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
For discussion,
Yeah.
I will need some kind of claim. I can't go off of this to pay it. So
Good,
we get that
if it's
to the
approved, we'll reach out
county.
for an invoice. Yeah.
Mary? Mary?
Aye.
Jenna?
Aye.
Mary? Aye. Annette?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye. Next up, we had a presentation about the Arch Group. I'd be looking for a motion to enter into an agreement with the Arch Group not to exceed $59,545 for their zoning ordinance proposal.
This still has a lot more discussion, correct? You're just.
Yeah, so this
Okay,
was,
this
this was,
just-
if I'm not mistaken, I think
Yeah, I
Frank
remember,
was
yeah.
really in this one, yeah. We would just enter then there's a lot of talk about who's on what, who's meeting when and where.
This would be to retain them and you guys would be in the driver's seat dictating
Perfect.
every step after that, so
Well, even in the agreement, that's the direction they're going.
absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely.
all right, thank you.
Yeah, it's gonna be entirely guided by you in regards to that by the council and obviously in consultation with the plan commission. So this is just built, this is just to establish the framework. Yes.
Do I have a motion?
I'll put a motion. For Arch Group Inc. in the amount of $59,545. Not to exceed, I'm sorry.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Last call for a second.
We can't, we're not gonna move forward with the new zoning code without this, and it's my opinion, we're desperately in need of work.
Mhm.
I'm concerned about the consensus, but I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mary?
Aye.
Jenna? Aye. Mary? Aye. Annette?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye. Any other business for the town council?
Yes, I have something. Adam, just for transparency with the ordinance that did not pass on the second reading, if the ordinance was to come back, they would have to start all over from square one with first and second
Yeah,
reading,
exactly.
correct?
That's exactly.
So everybody is aware with our newer councilmen and our public that that would need to take place.
Yeah, I would like to just suggest that we have us make a motion that we have a study session next week. With the council, or if next week doesn't work, the following week, sometime before the next meeting. To have the study session that we should have had. This ordinance was placed on the agenda for a vote. At the April meeting. When this council in March only voted to have it as a study session item.
That's your opinion, Councilman Ogrizovic. That's not everybody else's.
If
That's
you
your
don't believe
opinion.
me, you can watch the minutes of the March
That's your
meeting.
opinion, Councilman Ogrizovic, not everyone's.
You can watch the minutes of the March meeting if you don't believe me. We made a motion to have this on the April study session, but it was placed rushed to a vote. And so I would like to just make a motion that we have the study session that we should have had. Sooner rather than later.
You didn't call one before, and that could have been called before this was all done, and you did not do that. So I feel like there's something else afoot. So go ahead and call it. We'll participate, but we don't live in New Hampshire. We don't give a letter to everybody to come out. We
I
are,
don't think there should be any kind of argument. I think it's your own choice of what you want to
then
do.
she can call the.
And if she wants to do a study
She
session,
doesn't need
then
to
it's
call
okay.
it and then accuse people. She can call it
I
and say
don't
it wasn't
think there
called. Yes,
was
she
an
did. That should have been is an accusation. Which
But you know what, we're all
Right now,
adults
I
here.
have the
Let's
floor,
just
please. I never finished.
Can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
adjourn.
Bob, I have one more thing. I'll second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.
I didn't get my shirt right.
This is the sign.
I'd like to call the order the June 20th, 2024 Dyer Redevelopment Commission meeting. And we've already done the pledge, we've already done roll call, citizen input. Any input for the citizens for the Dyer redevelopment? Okay, citizen input, hearing none. We have a consent agenda. We'd like to make a change to the consent agenda. And request. We're adding on, clerk treasurer. Yes, Clerk treasurer has a request to change the consent agenda to add an in-house. Did you want to explain it? Okay. Housekeeping.
Under new business, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. And adding a $2 million loan. So we're seeking a motion to approve the consent agenda, including the minutes of the May 16, 2024 redevelopment commission meeting. Claims totaling $65,785.45 and to enter into an agreement for an in-house loan from RDC to the clerk treasurer. Do you have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
We'll make that motion.
Do you have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
If we just want to say what the $2 million was for.
What it is usually our tax money is in by today or tomorrow. I called out to county and they just filed the paperwork with the state. So they have to wait for the state to get approval for our taxes to come to us. So as we do each year, we just take precautions because we don't know how long the process will take. And there is someone newer at the auditors that does all this, so he had to go through a learning process. And I just want to make sure that we are covered for $2,109,500. So that when we have to make payments, we can borrow with internally and we won't have to have another meeting. And like usual, we never have to do this, but this time it's really cutting it close. So I think we'll be fine, but I would rather be safe.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Jenna? Aye. Mary?
Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Bob?
Aye.
Annette?
Aye.
Next, we have old business, the Arsh Group. Proposal for John Birch Lane and Schulte Street. Manager, do you have any comments on the drawing?
Yes, thank you. On the screen and in your packets is a combined drawing using information from Nice Engineering and Arch Group's concepts. This is kind of the vision that we started the project with. Everything on here is very flexible except for a minor tweak here or there that probably may not work when you're lining John Burge up. This concept you see on your screen is doable with keeping building services building and also State Farm. Both are within the non-road areas. They are also doable if we decided to take either one of those buildings. This includes a water type feature and a more of a aesthetic kind of feature right there at the bend on John Burge, kind of giving some little barrier by the water park splash pad. The only thing that you do not see in this concept, because it's still preliminary, is it did not include the actual road closure of Schulte Street. Right now, it shows it open, but that would go hand in hand with this relocation.
So you're seeking an approval?
Basically seeking, yes, if you guys like this and we go to the next step, this would be put to the engineers to see if that what we see here will work. I think Neil has worked with the Arch Group and sharing these numbers, and the approval is what would be needed for Neil to give his final thumbs up that says that this is doable, right, Neil?
Yes, that's correct.
It would involve the design, correct?
Sure.
Yes.
Anyway, make a motion to approve.
This picture. I guess the same thing. Is it this, is this what we're?
No, that's 213th in Sheffield in your hand. So it's the
It's
on your TV screens there.
North, I'm a little bit.
North, okay, so if you look at John, straight up is north. The John Burge, the tan part is the new road. The town hall is actually located where it says pretty much right where it starts at Corner Plaza. That L building right above it is the town hall currently. So you would basically enter in here more of a 90-degree turn instead of Schulte Street.
That's it, the splash pad is on here. right?
Splash pad is right to the right of where it says overlook, that little feature there started.
Oh, okay. We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, any discussion?
You will still have, and I'm sorry, discussion, you will still have many opportunities to tweak these once Nice puts everything in front of you with the design. This is just kind of approving the go ahead for this.
Hannah was really happy that there was an accident there in that part of the scene.
And there was, I was gonna mention that, I don't know, Fire Chief, if you wanna add, there was an accident at that intersection that is what prompted this whole redesign. It wasn't just a, hey, what can we do? It was we've recognized that it's a tough intersection to come out of, so.
I was almost hit there once. Coming to me. Yeah, it's.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please. Bob?
Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Jenna? Aye. Annette?
Aye.
Mary? Aye. Next, we have 213th in Sheffield. You're seeking a motion to approve the plan.
This one is more of a feedback type situation. If you like what you see, we're in the right direction. It's concept. Took some feedback from different projects throughout the region. We're on the right track. Yeah, I'm sorry. We're on the right track. Give us the thumbs up to continue. There's other input needed. There's a lot of options, including a digital board that's on here. Couple
We've
different
gone
features.
down, well, I'm sure we've gone down Sheffield. And with all these phone poles going in, now they're not one phone pole, there's two, they're double. It looks like the people live inside of a jail. And now we want to add more poles around there? I don't think so. I think that would look terrible. And we're not the town of clocks. We have a clock by our town hall. I don't think that's an appropriate thing. I agree something should be there, but I don't think that should be there.
And this is kind of an à la carte menu, so if you don't like the polls, we could remove those. If the cover picture shows no clock either, we don't want a clock, so it's just a, kind of a, are we heading in the right direction, or we want to put brakes on, or?
I agree with the poles, like the colonnade. I don't really like that. I don't think that's something that aesthetically, enhances the town. I like the digital billboard idea of having something,
Yeah, and that billboard would be not unlike the one we have here, the one, the municipal parks.
Yeah, it would mirror the message.
If we're expecting increased traffic with the train, I think it's a good location, for town news to be at.
Sure.
So I like that idea.
would it be, like, I don't know, more higher resolution than the one at town hall right now?
Could be.
So there could be,
Be larger as well, there's a lot more area there.
yeah.
Technology is also improving
Right.
daily, so whatever LED screen we buy now is probably an upgrade to whatever we currently have. What I like about the corner and these concepts here is that you can start with as little as you want and add on to it in the future. We want to just get corner going with some flag poles in an open area. We want to mimic what we did over by the War Memorial with those paper bricks. If you just want to see paper bricks only and work on it, think about it again
You can
next
even-
year.
You even look at the aerial here and maybe you're taking columns out, and you're taking clocks out, but I don't know, there's a bunch of different landscaping in here and maybe take a look at
Just wanna
that.
enhance it to make
Yeah,
it better,
and-
so that the Sheffield corridor doesn't look so.
Yeah, so maybe we can revise it to pull those elements out and then just do a little more green space landscaping and maybe digital signs. Maybe see what comes
I'm
back with
surprised
that.
they didn't put like a compass rose in here. We talked about this before, down on the ground, you know what I mean, a compass rose, I think that would look nice to build around, but.
I'd like just to invite everybody to take a look at public art in general, because you decided that you didn't like the public art that was going to be donated to us from a citizen. But take a look around, even in Indianapolis this weekend, we looked at all kinds of pleasing to the eye public art. So open up a book, take a look at it. Maybe you've got some suggestions, because I don't see anything here. That would really
Nice, but a flag would be nice over there too, the sign.
Well, maybe if what I'm hearing is correct, maybe kind of minimize this a little bit and take it back down closer to green space with some of the different amenities everybody thought was favorable and maybe
Maybe like-
revise it.
Like phase
More
one.
time that passes, the nicer just the green field is.
Yeah, no, I like the green shield.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me that so much that it's just nothing for a while or take our time to.
But we can definitely get you a
We have
phase
a
one.
year on this, right?
We have a what?
This is something that,
You own it.
You can, yeah, you can do whatever. This is
I
just
mean,
if
that
you
we
want.
were gonna make a decision on.
Sure.
What we're gonna do.
I mean, we could, like I said.
I
we
do
could-
like the flag, I do like the flags there. I do like the digital.
Yep.
I do like that. I like benches and
Well, why don't,
lampposts.
I'll come back to
know.
the next meeting with a scaled down phase one of maybe just some type of walkway between the two and a digital sign, and then we can
Next
build on it
for
from
like
there.
benches and
Sure.
lampposts, the
It's-
flags.
Would we be able to sell
Something.
advertisements on the digital billboard, like? For.
We certainly could. I think that would be something that you consider whether you want to do advertising period in that manner, or if you just wanted to use it. Ordinarily, the marquees would be, how we use them now is we kind of publish more or less the same things on each of the boards, and they go out simultaneously. But that's always something different towns, cities do differently with that, but I think it comes off to, do you want to be selling advertising? Is it worth it to get that versus putting information on the marquee for the residents?
I mean, when you talk about public art, like the community art, you know.
No,
Gonna have, within the schools, you know, contests with art, they put a picture and kids' art up on the billboard.
I would like to see
Just an
something
idea.
done there. I
Yeah.
mean,
The
you know,
highlights
cause it,
of achievement.
I know the green is nice.
Yeah.
but Something
Well, even if they
to
have
that
this-
area.
This one that it's just a sunken down and it's all benches around
Yeah.
and it's
It's
green,
somewhere
it
to
stays
sit,
green. It
something-
stays green.
Yeah. you
we'll
know,
come
it's
up with a
something like
phase
that.
one with what I'm hearing now with some different options like this. We'll sink it down, bench seating around it, maybe a flag in the
Yeah,
middle.
we're
and-
gonna have some dirt that has to be taken somewhere, maybe.
and then we put some dirt over it.
It's nice, even with the landscaping and maybe benches.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
And I'm all about the public art. I think we need to reconsider that. We were just down in Indy. There was art everywhere. I mean, it was amazing. They had a imitation Eiffel Tower. We definitely don't need that, but I don't think, but it was amazing.
And even with these layouts too, we can, like, I think was sort of implied here is that we can, even if we do something, we can make sure we leave space for that.
Exactly.
If that's something that
But
is
it
going to
was
be
still-
added a
it
year
was still
later.
Generating
Yeah.
economic development, because right now it looks, I mean, I love the green, but it looks abandoned down that whole corridor. We need
Trying
to
to
do
get it with,
something.
and it's the
Something needs to be-
revitalization of that
Yes.
area along with the train station
Yes.
and the roadway and all of it, you know, so this is step one because
Yeah.
it was the most
Let's send a
prominent
message
piece we had.
that it's gonna be a new corridor here soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other discussion? New business, Nice Engineering Proposal, John Burge Lane and Schulte Street. Do I have a motion to approve the Nice Engineering Proposal?
I almost feel like saying the Neil Engineering. Neil, thank you, Neil. You're always so great coming up. I make that motion too. Nice Engineering Proposal for John Burge Lane and Schulte Street. Can we do them both, Adam?
If you think it's gonna wind up the same for both, you can take the other.
There's two different not to exceed.
Yeah.
amounts.
Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
cleaner to do. So.
Thank you. You're welcome. It's right there. We love you.
You know, I don't see a total on the Burge Lane Engineering.
Third paragraph.
Yeah, near the bottom of the first page.
Okay, do we have a motion to
There
approve? Do I have a motion to approve the amount of $64,150,000 based on personnel rates?
This is the John Burge one, correct?
Correct.
Okay, now I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
A second for not to exceed $64,150.
Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Bob,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Jenna,
I,
Danette,
Aye.
Mary.
Aye. Next, we have, the Nice proposal for Getler Street, Steck Street, south of Route 30 and west of Hart Street.
I'll make a motion to approve the Nice Engineering Construction Observation for Getler Street not to exceed $72,350.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Nice is very popular this evening.
He's gonna be busy.
Roll call, please.
Bob,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Jenna,
Aye.
Annette,
Aye.
Mary.
Aye. We have a housekeeping, we need a motion to approve housekeeping loan
Oh, we
to,
already did that.
in the
Okay.
consent agenda.
okay. Any and all?
Yes, I would like to announce the shred day, not to forget the shred day
Yes.
on this Saturday from 10 to 12.
Give you a
Hi,
status
Tom.
update. Go ahead, I'm sorry, I thought you were done.
It's behind Town Hall by over Nolan Park, and splash pad will be open on this 90-degree weather.
It would be really nice if we had some kind of directions to guide people to the shred day.
Dave's got that all worked out.
He does.
July 1st?
It's at the town hall, I think everybody knows how to get there, right?
With our street blocked off.
Well, there'd be the detour, there'd be big orange signs that'll take you there,
More
but
detours.
yeah,
Okay,
no, that
great.
if you arrive from the north, you'll have no problems whatsoever. If you're coming from the south, they will take you to Grieving over to Nondorf, 230. And I believe early enough, again, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe early enough, there may not be any obstructions in that corner, but fingers crossed.
8094 isn't closed.
Yeah, that's true too. We can't cross our fingers on any of that. Once 8094 closes, we get all the trucks down here. I do want to add though, because there was a couple questions. This Hart Street closure is only for Friday night, Saturday and Sunday. It's not for the duration of the Getler project. It's just the beginning to tap into the water so that then they can move on to the Getler. So hopefully once Monday rolls around, they'll be completed there and that'll open back up.
Are they gonna put that one of those big signs up that's just for the weekend?
Digital sign?
Yeah,
We could probably add ours.
I would suggest that because they really have no clues. Or they think it's gonna be gone, but they can't use it for a long time.
Okay.
Any and all? Motion for adjournment,
So moved.
second. Voice vote.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.